A good night of Shabbos, Parshas Miketz. We are in Tzed of Shabbos. We have Erev Rosh Chodesh. Tonight is Rosh Chodesh. It's Hanukkah. And it's Parshas Miketz. Whenever it says Miketz, we know that it's a Zman HaGeula, it's a Zman of the ultimate. We're going to stand, Mi Allah Bahar Hashem, we're going to stand in front and get, there's time to bring all the work, to bring, as we say, put it in a basket and bring it up on the Mizbeach, and I'm over here. And Cain and Hevel try to do that. It says Ket Sayamim, they try to be Masakin, to bring the ultimate redemption, and it failed. Because we're talking here about the Dakish Shebadakish, the slightest thing that's off. We're talking about the ultimate Yechida, and if something is not aligned with the ultimate Yechida, then it fails. It's not a play. You're not getting a pass. It either aligns, it either clicks, or it doesn't click. So we're also dealing here with the Chalemas. All the Chalemas. We have Yosef had a Chalem, Sarah Mashkan, Sarah Oifim had a Chalem, and Al Pari had a Chalem. And Yosef Atzadik was the ultimate Poisech Chalemas. He was able to be Poisech Chalemas. He had the Eibishter was with him. He had that Koich. And the reason he had that Koich is because he was the Tzadik Yisod Olam. He was aligned with the core of the Welt. He was aligned all the way to the bottom, which means the Tzaddik has the long breath, and he's able to hold and see through, no matter where he's at, he's able to see through and hold on to his truth. So, as the Rebbe brings down, in a Cholem is where two opposites take place. Two opposites take place, which means that a person can have a dream that an elephant is walking through a needle point, a hole the size of a needle, and an elephant walks through it. It's possible in a dream state. It's possible because two opposites can take place. An oxymoron. Two opposites can take place in a dream. So the dream is that we are in Golus. The dream is that the reality of the dream is that a person is a chilik l'kayim mal mamash. There's a fire burning from within. And at the same time, in other words, a person davens, he connects, he does chesed, he connects with himself, he's compassionate. And at the same time, he has an obstacle where he has judgments on himself or anybody else. Now that is the dream. That is the dream. Now the koyach of Chanukah is with the lecht and the candles bringing down the chachma is to wake up from the dream. We're going into the sixth night. Tonight is Yosef Atzadik. Tonight is Yosef Atzadik, Koyach HaShiv Messiah Lano Hayom. This is the Koyach of the shepherds, the Pastacher. They're helping us out. The Yosef Atzadik. It's Sfiras Hoid. We're going into Hoid, which is the Emes. The Emes is the truth. Now to shift into to that, we have when two people do something for each other. A person helps out. A person was needed help. He was in a very desperate situation, and a friend comes and does and takes care of it and gives him a hand. And there's so much, there's just a bond that happens. There's a fire connection from heart to heart. Like, really, I love this person. He's there for me. He helped me in my time of down, when a person was down and broken. And there's something called kodesh bris. You shake hands. I want you to imagine that there is a rope that's tied to a pole, and then you jump into the water, and the rope has 1,000 or 2,000 feet long. Now, until you hit the end of the 2,000 feet, you don't necessarily feel the pole. The pole that the rope is tied to doesn't necessarily feel what the purpose of it. But when it reaches to the end and he pulls and he starts pulling, that's when you wake up. That's when we bring in the knot, that strong knot that was created. That's when you bring that into the front. That's when that comes into play. When two people are in love, two people love each other, you don't necessarily understand how close and the tightness, how it's tied together. because you don't need to. There's enough rope. There's enough what to live off. But when the relationship is getting tested, when it gets tested, that's when we need that the deep yesodistic connections that we started planting from the minute we came into the world, friendship and relationships. That's when it really gets tested. So too was the Kodesh Bris that the Eibishter had with Avraham Avinu, our Zayda. They had a bris, there was a lot of love, there was a relationship, but they shook hands, they were Kodesh Bris, but we didn't really need, the strength of the connection wasn't really tested. There was no stress test yet. It wasn't tested until much later, when we came in the deep darkness, when we went into the tubes. That's when it was tested. Now this is where we are. This is where we're at in Hanukkah. Explains Chassidus. Hanukkah is when we are testing the rope. We're pulling all the way from the core, because up until Hanukkah, there was enough in the bank to negotiate. We did it. We didn't do it. They brought a carbon. They didn't bring a carbon. It was enough to go around. But Hanukkah is when we ran out of everything. There was no more love anymore. We really went into the other side, which means Timi Kol Hashmanim, that all the Hechalas, every chapter, every Hechel, every room in your brain was contaminated. Every room was contaminated with different models, different systems and understandings. Everything made sense. And it had to be ma'oder. We had to come from a higher place. We had to go in from a place of keser, which means like this. Up until now, we were living off from the dividends of Avraham Yitzchak Yaakov, which is the midas, chesed, gevura, teferes, Avraham Yitzchak Yaakov. But then, when all these echolim were timi kol hashmanim, the regular channels were contaminated. It didn't make any sense. Chesed was used for love, Gevura was used for not, and the fairest, the balance was like, I'm balancing out life, it's fine, it is good the way it is. We had to go and pull the string, we had to go all the way to the top, which is in Keser. But in Keser, is kichasheche ko'ere, dark and light is the same thing in Keser. It makes no difference, because there's no language there, there's no expression there. It's almost like when a millionaire comes to meet the king, and he brings him money. It has no value. The king is a billionaire. He doesn't need your money. When the poor man comes to the king and he just says, thank you, my king. Thank you, my master. I'm grateful. You saved my family. You're so kind. And your kindness is really affecting and giving me a chance to be here, gave me a chance to be here, gave me a chance to have what I have right now. That really moves the king. This is a mashal in Chassidus. So Hanukkah is a Yom Tov where, not like a regular Yom Tov. And that's why in a regular Yom Tov, we're not allowed to work, because we are in the midas. We're still operating from the regular channels. But Hanukkah is from such a high place that it's beyond logic. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. It makes no sense how one Pach Hashem lasted for 8 days. It makes no sense how there was just mitamol, rabim miyad ma'atim. The minority was overcoming the majority. The majority were conquered by the minority. It makes no sense. It makes no sense that the one clear-head thinker was able to dominate everything. That light was dominating. The Aragonis came to be, and that is because we pulled from a place from Keser, which is higher than the Midas. And how do we do that? How do we tap into something that's higher than the Midas? It's not tzedakah, it's not tefillah, it's beyond that. It is tefillah actually. It's not any type of action, ava yireh. It comes through hoid. Hoid is gratitude. Simply, thank you, my master, thank you for me. Tapping into the source, the little nekudas achaim. Tapping into the source of life, tapping into what moves you, what really drives you. Who am I? Who am I in this dream? Who am I? Waking up to the other side of the dream. Waking up to understanding that there is an oxymoron here. There's two sides fighting, but who am I? Who is me? And tapping into now, because there is the light of Yosef HaTzadik, the candles are lighting up the Yosef HaTzadik, the Tzadik within you. The Tzadik within you, the thing that is doing what it's doing, striving to be, not being satisfied with what I have, wanting more, wanting to reach, wanting to be better, to feel better, to be more simcha, be more besimcha. That is the koyach of that's the opportunity we have right now. That's the opportunity where it's at. And this is where, remember something, the dream and the chaloimus, that's all. Yosef is the Poisher Chalom. Yosef Atzadik is the Poisher Chalom, and Ered Poisher and the Chalom the way it's supposed to be for all of us, for Am Yisrael, all the way down. Remember, Yisoid is center line. Yisoid comes all the way from Keser, Das, Teferes, and goes down to Yisoid. That's why Yaakov and Yosef are so connected. So you have Teferes and Yisoid. Chanukah is where Yisoid, we're bypassing actually Yisoid. We're going straight to Hoid. Hoid goes straight into Malchus. If you don't understand, just listen. It's very simple. Hoid goes straight into Malchus. Throughout the year, you have to do your work, and you do all your midas, your chesed, your gevuras, your teferes, your holding back, your eskafa, your eshapcha, and then everything is being ma'asif. You collect everything, and it goes through the yisoid. It goes through the tzinner of yisoid, and that brings it into Malchus. So when you come at the end of the year, you come at the end of the day, the end of the week, you're like, what's the tally? What have you done today? And based on that is what we receive back. Because we're working through the proper channels. Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov. Chanukah is where we're bypassing all these channels. It makes no sense. It's beyond logic. It's the ultimate. It's Chassidus. It's Pnimiyas HaTorah. It's something that makes no sense. It's something that the Yevanim couldn't understand, and they wanted to uproot it because it's interfering with the system. It's interfering with business. It doesn't make any sense how a Yid is going on with his lifestyle, paying for everything they're paying, schools and Shabbos and Yom Tov and kids and Baruch Hashem and all that and Im Kol Zeh. So yeah, we should all bless each other. There should be Adar Hoben Shabbos. We should have. It should open up already. We should see what we need to see. Have Menuchas HaNefesh and salvation. A good Shabbos, a good Erev Shabbos, good Erev Chodesh, and a Feilich Chanukah.